Israel, Shalom, it's your brother Joshua. Israel, Shalom, it's your brother Joshua. Shalom, it's your brother Joshua here. Israel, Shalom, it's your brother Joshua here with examples of the light. It's your brother Joshua here with examples of the light with another quick breakdown. Shalom, Israel, Shalom, it's your brother Joshua here with examples of the light with another quick breakdown. First and foremost, we got to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Let's give all praises to the Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus. Second, let to give double honors to the elders that have been pushing this truth with sincerity. Last but not least, got to give another strong shalom to our brothers and sisters out there who are allowing their light to shine, that others might see their good works and glorify the Father, which is in heaven. Like I say, Israel, it's your brother Joshua here, and we got another beautiful topic. We are going into Hanukkah. Let's talk about Israel, because right now we are in the feast of dedication. Now, for some of us, for some of those brothers, they did theirs already December 6th because they go by the dark moon. All praise to the Most High for our brothers keeping us righteous acts. But for us, we go by the full moon. So our feast of Hanukkah started on the 21st sundown, the last Thursday sundown. So we are going into it, man. All praise to the Most High. At least we have an opportunity to rehearse these righteous acts, man. We're not out here celebrating Christmas, all the Sinsmas, some brothers call it. We out here keeping the Feast of Dedication, man, because that's what the Lord commanded us to do. Keep the Feast of Dedication. A lot of our people, they say they follow after Christ, but don't do nothing Christ said do. So we're going to start figuring some of this stuff out and see, do you serve the Lord or do you serve the man? And you know who the man is, the so-called white man that the Bible speaks of, which is the devil. So let's get into it. We're going to start at now. It's a lot of reading we're going to do. I'm not going to try to do too much reading because I need you to go into this history yourself and study yourself, because I hope you all have your Apocrypha, Israel. So we're going to start off like we do all of our topics with 1 Peter 4:11. This is the book of 1 Peter 4:11. And it says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do that as ability which God giveth. That God giveth. That God in all things will be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom we praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. We always going to speak, thus says the Lord, Israel, because we don't know nothing. Now the question is this. In your regular, see, this is my regular, my regular KJV Bible. And it's 66 books in this Bible. So you do not read about with the history of the Feast of Dedication in this regular Bible. I mean, if you got ears and eyes see, you can see that Daniel prophesied about it, which we will get shortly. But we're about to show you in your Apocrypha, regular 1611, as an Apocrypha. You'll read about the history of the time of the Maccabees, when they had basically said, we ain't gonna allow this to happen, man. When the Greeks came in, because when you read the Bible, you see about the Syrians, see about the Babylonians, see about the Persian Medes, then it jumps to the Romans. Now, where's that history? Like, it's a big gap from Malachi to Matthew. So where would you find it? You'll find it in the Apocrypha. And we're going to show you this thing, Israel. We got to show you this thing, because a lot of our people, they don't know what's going on. A lot of people like to say they know what's going on, but in all actuality, they have no idea what's going on. And that's okay, because that's what we're here for, man. That is why we're here. Let's get some Bible verses to show you that. This is the book. I'm going to get the classic. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 15. And it says, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So the Lord is going to give you pastors according to his heart. Not these wicked, demonic, freaky pastors going off nowadays. Yeah, we see what's going on in the news. Everything, hey, like the Bible say, what is done in the dark is going to come to the light, man. You can tell, man. You can just see how these freak pastors out here going off, man. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But the Lord is going to feed you with pastors according to his heart. As in brothers that's going to want to teach you this word in righteousness, man. Not because he's just trying to get money off of you, not because he's trying to make a big name for himself, because we know we're trying to magnify and glorify the Lord's name. At the end of the day, that's why we do this, man. To wake up the hopeful elect and to magnify the Lord's name. Why not doing this to be, yeah, I'm the biggest man named Israel. Y'all know who I am. I'm Big Judo. No, that's not why we do that. No, we do it for those reasons right there. So now let's get some understanding. Let's go to John chapter 10 and let's see something. John chapter 10 and verse 22. It says, and it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. Hold on now. So in the book of John, Jesus is keeping a feast of dedication. Let's see. And Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So Yahushua kept the feast of dedication. No, he did not keep Christmas, which a lot of you Negroes are going to keep, man. And y'all better stop. Y'all know it's pagan and folly, but y'all still do it. Well, it's for the kids. You going off. You're going to send you and your kids straight to the grave. Don't do that, Israel. Don't do, well, brother, it's for the gifts, man. We come together because Jesus' birthday was in the winter time. No, it's not. Think about it like this now. Man, let's keep it 100. I have a book. I bring that book out, Lord's will, when I do my Christmas topic, which I'm going to do it. We got to deal with it. But it tells you that you cannot, Yahushua couldn't have been born in the wintertime in the manger, a baby. That baby would have froze to death, man. Especially during that winter time. So some of you can't even stand to be outside now. You live in the South. Come on now. Well, he was Jesus. He could do all. Yeah, he can. But let's keep it 1,000. Y'all going off, Israel. Well, brother, it's just what we do. Well, hey, he didn't say that. He told you to do what he do. This is the book of 1 Peter's. I'm going to jump into this topic. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us example that ye should follow his steps. Are you following Christ's steps? Some people like to say they follow Christ, but ain't doing nothing that Christ said do. You're not keeping the Feast of Dedication. You're not keeping the Passover. You're not keeping the Feast of Tabernacle. You're not keeping the Sabbath the right way. But our people like to say they follow Christ. Jesus ain't got nothing to do with it. They were celebrating so-called Christmas before Christ was born. The Pope instituted that thing. I think it's named Pope Julius. He instituted Christmas should be made a holiday, and we're going to say that's Jesus' birth. The so-called white man. Because the earth is given into his hands. And our people don't understand that. They still don't want to get it. But neither here nor there, Israel. It's neither here nor there. We're going to deal with a couple of precepts risen now. And you got to remember this time, man, because this is one thing our people don't like to do, is remember these acts of our forefathers, because these acts right here are what's going to get us through, man. Let me get that in Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. This is the book of Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Because the time of the Maccabees is coming back, Israel. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, may have hope. So these things are going to come back, and we need to see what our forefathers did, that we can have the same spirit they had. Those times are coming back, because the Lord said he required that is of the past. Let me get that right quick. This is the book of Ecclesiastes. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, that which have been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God required that which is past. So the Lord required the things that's going to come back that happened before. You think these same people ain't going to come back on earth? Regeneration is real, Israel. We're going to have a time of Esther again when Haman want to come and slaughter all the Jews. that's coming back. The Nicanor is coming back. Alexander the Great, Antiochus Epiphanes. Those people are coming back. And guess what? They want you. It's going to be a time that you have never seen before on earth, man. Jacob's trouble is going to be real. And y'all think the transatlantic slave trade, you're thinking slavery, you thinking civil rights movement, you haven't seen nothing yet, Israel. That's why you better be in these scriptures daily. You better be praying. You better be fasting. You better be keeping these acts and reading what your forefathers done. Because this is right here, what we're about to read is amazing. This is the book of Deuteronomy. I'm about to get into it in a second. I got to get I like to build a story, Israel. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. And it says, it says, Deuteronomy 32 and 7, remember the days of old. So we got to remember these days of old, man. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers, and he will show thee. Thy elders, they will tell thee. So, Lord, you the hope that you had fathers to know what's going on. All praise to the Most High. We have some elders that's in this truth that are our fathers now. So you have to understand, you ask these people what's going on, they're going to tell you. That's why we go over these righteous acts, man. Let me get another one. I like this one there. This is I get a class. I get the book of Job right quick. Job is a good one. This is the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For I inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know of nothing, because our days upon the earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee, and tell thee, and utter words out of their heart? So our forefathers are going to tell us and teach us certain things that we don't even understand, because our days are on the earth like upon a shadow. So you're about to get into this topic and start understanding where did this so-called Jew and Greek thing came from. Because you see it in the Bible. That's why it was during the Greek captivity. The Greek captivity is so-called when a white man came into power. And you have to understand, when this devil came into power, he made it hard for you to be who you are now. Who you were. Now, that's why we still have the mindset that we have now. As in, you have been Hellenized and Americanized. Now you think you're American. You think that you can vote and your vote matters. You thinking that you can get these high-end jobs by going to their school and doing the things that they do. That's what you do. You believe you have the American dream, and this is nothing new. They've been doing this thing. Remember, they've been doing this since Genesis, man. And our people don't understand it. They've been doing this since Genesis. So the whole point is for you to understand that all this stuff right here is written for your learning, Israel. You have to understand that. I'm going to give you a couple more precepts. I'm going to hop in and start reading it so I can show you where did all this come from. Let's go to the book of Galatians. Let's go to Galatians right quick. Let me get the book of Galatians. I'm going to show you something right quick. See how people get stumbled when they hit certain Bible verses in the Bible. This is the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 28. And it says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus. So you have in this time, remember, this is during the Roman Empire when the Romans were in rulership. Why are they still talking about Greeks? Why they say there's no Jew, no Roman? Why they say Greek? You have to understand these words, man. It's talking about our people that's been Hellenized or followed the ways of the people of the world at that particular time. You understand what I'm saying? Like right now, you would consider yourself American, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, but you're not. You're an Israelite. And that's what our people do when you follow the customs of the world. Like, give me another example. Hear me out. You about to celebrate Christmas. That's not your custom. You see what I'm saying? That's not your custom. Your custom is what? The Feast of Dedication, which is a beautiful feast. We can get into it, Israel. So when you hear certain things like this, you're like, what the world? Jew nor Greek? I'm gonna get that in the Strong's for you right quick, because I know a lot of people still don't understand. Get yourself a Strong's Concordance, or you can download it on your Download it on your Bible app on your phone. A lot of Jakes download folly. Download things that you need to have. This is the Strong's Concordance of Greek. Let's go to Galatians 3 and verse 28. Let me show you what it says. It says Greek. All right, it's Strong's G 1671. Helen. That's what it is. Helen. A Greek either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or of the Greek islands or colonials. It says, in a wider sense, the name embraced all nations. No, not just the white man. All nations. Not Jews that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. The primary reference is a difference of religion and worship. So they made the Greek their everything, man. Just like y'all Americans do now. Y'all get ready to celebrate new. Oh, I'm telling you right now, this is how you know how people are crazy, man. You're getting phone calls right now. Hey, man, I just want to talk to you right quick, man, because, I feel like I ain't been doing things right, but hey, a new year coming up. It's going to be a new. Y'all getting ready to so-called celebrate New Year's, man. And that's not even New Year's. But that's what our people getting ready to do, man. You get phone calls now, getting people to talk about this is what I'm about to do. I'm about to get my life in order. I'm about to start working out. I'm about to do my New Year's resolution. Y'all don't have no idea what's going on, man. Janice, duality. Y'all don't research, Google. But yes, that's just Israelites. In this chapter, Israelites, which made the Greek their everything, like you guys do now. I'm going to show you something else. Let's go. I want to go there right now. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna get a couple more. Then I'm gonna go there. This is the book of. I just get to the point. Let's get Daniel right quick. Let's go to the book of Daniel because Daniel told us about the stuff that was gonna pop off, man. Daniel told us. Daniel gave us swift warning. Yep, Daniel gave us swift warning. Where do I want to start? Slacky Israel. I want to see where I want to start at because it's about to get a little bit of money. This is Daniel. I think I want to start at chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 36. I get the point. Daniel 2 and 36. It says, this is the dream, and everybody's seen the dream that Daniel had about the statue of gold and silver and brass. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen it. If you're not, Google the vision of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. This is the book of Daniel chapter 2 and verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king. It's like it. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given in thy hands, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. So let's talk about Nebuchadnezzar. If you look at the statue, he was what you consider the head of gold. Now, if you understand, if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, when it talks about the statue, the head of gold. So the head of gold is letting you know at that time, the strength was amazing. Then they go to silver. Why didn't they gold? Because the kingdoms become weaker and weaker throughout the times. You have ears, you'll see, you'll understand. It says, verse 39, and after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee. And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. So that's the third kingdom right there, talking about the so-called Greeks. I'm gonna read verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And that's going into the Roman Empire. If you have ears to hear and eyes to see, and it's going into those other kingdoms. Well, let's get another precept. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 7. I'm gonna give you just a couple more. I'm just show you. Let's give you the interpretation right quick. This is Daniel 7 and verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four wings of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. This is talking about this is going to the same thing in Daniel chapter 2. So if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, Daniel saw of these other nations. He saw it. God gave him the vision to see it ahead of time. Now let's keep reading. Yeah, I'm going to keep reading. It says, the first was like a lion and had an eagle's wing. And I beheld to the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. So this is talking about the Babylonian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Now, you talking about, it says beast. Remember, the things that was written in similitudes. So you have to break it down. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have understanding, know what's going on. I'm going to go to, I'm going to show you that it's talking about, man. Jump to verse 17, Daniel 7 and 17. These great beasts, which are four are four kings. So it's letting you know that these are four kings. See, these are not real beasts that's going to rule the world. It's talking about these people. Let's keep reading now. This is verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself one on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. So that's letting you know that's going into the Persian and Medes, and it rose up against each other. It rose up against each other because the Persians took down the Medes. If you have understanding. Now here's the point. Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. And that's going into the Greeks, because they came in as a leopard and swiftly took over the whole world at that time. It's right here. Daniel told us all what was popping. But now you have to have the understanding to know how to break this thing down. So during the Greek captivity, our people were not able to call themselves Jews. So I'm just going to keep it plain upon tables for you, man. So when the Greeks ruled at this particular time, it was hard for our people to call themselves Jews, man, because you'll be murdered and put to death. These people didn't play, man. Let's go to Apocrypha. I just want to give you that it's mentioned in the book of Daniel. Then you see the whole story in your Apocrypha. If you ever sit 11, you'll see it. But let's go to it in Apocrypha. Let's go to the book. I'm going to go to Second Maccabees. I'm going to show you something first. Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. This is the book of Second Maccabees 6 and 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So if you couldn't profess yourself to be a Jew, what did you have to call yourself? Oh yeah, that's right, a Greek. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. So they didn't keep birthdays. Our people was brought by bitter constraint. They didn't want to do it, man. But nowadays, you Negroes out there want to just celebrate your birthday. Yeah, they ain't want to do that, man. They did not want to do that. You guys want to all the time. It says bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivory. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighboring cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. So, hey, they say, hey, y'all got to observe everything we do and eat of these sacrifices. That's what they wanted us to do. What y'all do now? A lot of people do that thing now. What kills me the most is these dang on commercials when they get Jake to be eating these bacon sandwiches in front of the whole world. Like, yeah, eat it. Yeah, that's what you want. And that's what they was doing then, man. They got Jake out here putting on dresses to push their agenda. Now that's butt breaking now, right? To take the biggest, broliest man and say, hey, we got this leader of the people are doing it. Now these kids darn sure gonna do it. That's what the so-called white man do. We're gonna do a topic on him, Lord's will, and show you that the white man is the devil that the Bible talking about. Nah, Josh, all of them ain't bad. Hey, all of them are. Read the book of Maccabees. See how this devil moves, man. This is a time to remember and glorify the Father, man. Now look what they say, verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles. So if you didn't conform yourself to the manner of the Gentiles, should be put to death. That if you didn't want to do it, you'll be put to death. Right now, we got it made right now. You can wear your fringes, keep your beard, Kwame Yasharala, outside on highways and byways, shaking the hand, got your Bibles, Apocryphals, taking notes. But the time is coming when you ain't gonna be able to do that no more. A lot of people are gonna cut their fringes, cut their beards, and sell out to the so-called white man. Verse 9 again, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. Now you about to see this present misery. Let's go to the book, Israel, of First Maccabees, in your Apocrypha. First Maccabees 1 and verse 1. Now this is Greek rulership. Everybody know that. I'm going to show you how everybody know that. And Maccabees mean hammer. It was the hammer at that time, because what did they do? We're going to read about it. This is First Maccabees 1 and 1. Only reason I'm reading this, because I know a lot of you jakes ain't going to read it, man. You got to read this history and just get into this thing, man. This is a time to be remembered. While we keep the Feast of Dedication, man, you have to understand that. You want to celebrate stupid-ass Christmas, but you don't want to celebrate what the Lord told you to celebrate. Madness. Look at the history of our people. Now think about it. They taught this thing in school, man. You wouldn't want to be none of these other people. You know, you would want to be like your forefathers if they taught this in school. That's why I'm glad I teach my children this stuff, man. My daughter asked me the other day when I was reading this, reading the story to them. It was about a man and his 5 sons. We're gonna get into it, Lord's will. And my daughter looked at me and said, Dad, that's how you want to be? I said, hey, yeah, Lord's will. Lord's will. Lord's will. The Lord has blessed me. All praise to the Most High God with 4 sons. I have a daughter. So, hey, Lord's will continue to keep blessing me to have more sons. So I can teach my sons the right way and show my daughter what a righteous man is. Lord's will. I like that. That made me happy when my daughter looked at me. And my daughter, the oldest, she like, that's how you want to be. You damn right. That's how I want to be. That's how I want to move out here in these last days. We're going to read it and we're going to get into it. You're going to see why. This is the book of First Maccabees 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chitin, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this history, but I'm just going to read it so y'all can understand what's really popping. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So this man right here, out here making wars and defeating everybody. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who been tributaries unto him. And after these things, he felt sick and perceived that he should die. It's talking about Alexander the Freak, man. He started reigning at 20 and reigned for 12 years and died from a bad case of what some say syphilis, some say HIV, but he was a straight up, gotta mind my words when I say certain things, but he was a straight up, homosexual, man. We're gonna say he was a straight up flaming fag, man. It is what it is. We ain't censoring ourselves because we're gonna get shut down. It is what it is. Alexander the Greek, the freak, was a freak, man. Freaking off on men. He even have a quote. I gotta find it. It says, "Men thighs are what caused him to fall, man." Because he was a freak like that, man. And that's their history, man. That's a so-called white man's history. He's a so-called freak, man. What the Bible tell you, man? The Bible tell you there's no profane person as Esau. Freaky Edomites, man. It's another precept, I believe. It tells you that he don't even like women. They don't even like women. They don't even like women at all. Yeah, so that's what your boy Alex. They ain't gonna teach you that in school though. Hey, but I'm gonna teach you here. Read that again. That's a beautiful precept, verse 5. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So now that he had called up his homies, he said, hey, I'm about to part my kingdom. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys what y'all need. Basically. I'm gonna tell you this. Some people like say, dang, Josh, that's how you feel about it. Hey, yes, that's how I feel. Because when you see what they did to our people, you're gonna be looking crazy, man. You're like, dang, they did. Yes, they did all this. You don't have no idea. And so a lot of people like to pledge Alpha, Beta, Kappa, well, all that silly stuff, man. You want to pledge these Greeks. But then again, these Greeks had you in captivity, and you still in captivity of them. Madness. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bear ruled everyone in his own everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put on crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. They never gonna tell you that. Evils was multiplied in the earth. When a so-called white man is in rulership, evils are multiplied in the earth, man. Just look at it now, man. It's okay for you to go off and freak off and do whatever you want, man. Because the so-called white man is rulership, man. Let's get that in Proverbs 29 right quick, man. Proverbs 29, man. 29 and 16. Proverbs 29 and 16. And it says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall. And that's what you see, man. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases. Man, I'm gonna get another one. This is the book of Matthew, man. This is the book of Matthew. Yahweh said this, man. So they're gonna get worse, man. They even said it in 2nd Ezra chapter 5, man. I might get that one too. But I'm gonna get the one in Matthew first. This is Matthew, verse 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, iniquity is gonna abound. Because guess what? Who pushing the iniquity? So-called white man, because it's in his hands. The love of many shall wax cold. So you better understand what's going on, Israel. All hell is literally breaking loose. And guess who's the corporate behind it? The devil that the Bible. Hey, we're going to keep saying that, man. Because when you start reading and understanding what this book say, you're going to be like, hey, we're going to keep going. Back to 1 Maccabees 1 and verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes. Now, Antiochus Epiphanes, hey, his name, this demon name was basically translated to God manifests or madman. Yes, that's what his name represents and means. Antiochus Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So what time this is? The kingdom of the Greeks. And those days went out there out of Israel wicked men. So guess what? You can have wicked men of Israel. We see that now. We got wicked Israelites right now. that's not gonna do what they're supposed to do, but they're gonna make a leap. Guess what? We are the cause of our own fall, man. They can never come against us. It's always a sellout, man. And you see that in all movies. COINTELPRO, man. Judas in the Black Messiah. You see that. Malcolm X. It's always your own people, man. It's always your own people. Wicked Negroes, man. We can get into it, but we ain't gonna deal with it right now. But it's always your own people, boy. You can't make this stuff up. It's always your own people. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. But then the Lord say his son should betray the father, the mother. It's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna sell you out, man. Hey, this is part of the walk, man. So are you ready to deal with that? Are you ready to deal with the people that's close to you to sell you out? Hey, that's why I don't trust nobody, man. It is what it is. Because I don't want to put so much confidence in somebody that that's why I put my trust in the Lord, man. It'll be your own damn brother that sell you out, man. Your own sister, your own cousin that you grew up with. Your mom or your daddy. Auntie, uncle. Now, the Israelites over there, I could tell you the address. Matter of fact, I can show you where they live. I show you where they work at. I show you where they keep the Sabbath. I show you everything. What you need me to do, boss, master? I show you everything. Well, good, nigga, come show me. And that's coming again, Israel. Be prepared. It says, in those days went out there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have much sorrow. That's what our people believe, man. We got so much sorrow. No, we got sorrow because we choose not to keep the Lord's commandments, according to Leviticus 26, verse 16 on down. We have many sorrows because we don't keep God's commandments. Let me get that right quick, man. Now, I was going to just keep on reading through Israel, but it is what it is. Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 16. I'm going to have to start at 15. I'm sorry, at 14. But if you will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terrors, consumptions, and the burning anguish that shall consume thy eyes, and cause sorrow, what the Bible say, cause sorrow of the heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. So guess what? We have sorrows because we choose not to serve the Lord. Not because we ain't following the heathen, no, because we don't want to serve the Lord, man. It says, back to the First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 12 now. It says, so this advice pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. They got license to sin, man. Brothers got their own business. It's okay to be an entrepreneur. But for you to break God's commandments, but brother, that's the day it's popping, man. We got to sell on the Sabbath. It's the day popping, bro. God is going to destroy you. Because the white man's giving you a license to sin and commit all type of lewd acts on the Sabbath. Let's get that precept right quick, man. Give you license to sin, man. But that's what Esau do, man. He give you a license to sin. And guess what our people do? They eat that thing up, man. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 20. Sirach 15 and 20, it says, that's what I want. Yep. It says, he hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither have he given any man license to sin. But the white man give you license to sin. And you take that license and you show it, you like, hey, how you doing? My name is Joe Brown, and I'm here to break the Sabbath. Here's my license to sin. And the white man take it like, okay. All right, let me look at it. Okay. All right, Joe Brown, you go ahead in. Oh, thank you. You go ahead and break the dang on Sabbath because the white man gave you license to sin. Okay, hey, how you doing? My name is Leroy Antoine. My name is Leroy Antoine. I'm came to get a port. Hey, do you have your license to sin? Of course I do. That's what our people do, man. They want to do everything the so-called white man do, and you're going to be put to death because he giving you license to sin. They know once you go off, they in rulership still. It's all right, Israel. Back to First Maccabees, chapter 1. I'm trying to read it through, but I get these precepts come up sometimes. And verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen. So now we're building a place of exercise. What is this place called? A gymnasium. And if you go back to the etymology word of gymnasium, you know what these people used to do in the gymnasium, Israel, which they still do now. Used to work out butt ass naked, man. Whole bunch of Edomites working out butt naked, popping each other in there. And now you see that now. People going to damn gym half damn naked. Don't let them have a sauna. Old Edomites and they butt naked with towels on talking about the good old days. And Jake you and they with them. Going off. Nah, bro, I gotta go to the gym. Bro, you been to the gym 3 times a day. What you doing? I'm just trying to get right. Nah, you going off. I ain't saying it's a crime to go to the gym. You could work out at home, man. But you in the gym freaking off, following their customs. Google it. Just Google it. Etymology of the word exercise gym, which means naked. Literally. Freaks. Think about all the Greek pictures. They always got these so-called statues of these so-called white men butt naked with they little robe hanging off their ass. Freaks, man. Hey, I'm not making this stuff up. You see it, but you just don't think about it. I think that's just art. No, that's not art. That's creepy, freaky stuff, man. Think about the person that's carving the art, man. You know something, man. They'll be like, something, I don't think this is right. But no, these Edomites get off on that. Yeah. Freaks. Even a whole picture they have, that thing called, when they have God and Jesus and the angels touching their hands, they all butt naked. Freaks. Y'all want to follow these freaky customs if y'all want, man. So-called white man is nasty. He a pedophile. He a freak. I'm not making this stuff up. Just think about it, Israel. Think about it. Nah, Josh, you going off. No, we just read it, man. We're going to keep reading and you're going to see how crazy it gets. It gets worse. It gets worse, Israel. It says, verse 14 again, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to do the heathen. Look at that, to do the heathen and were sold to do mischief. And now you sold to do mischief. You're going off because you want to do mischief. Now, when the king was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion over 2 realms. Wherefore he he entered into Egypt with great multitudes with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war with Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again into the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now guess where he at? He with us now. And let's see what he gonna do. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar, the candlesticks of light, and all the vessels thereof. The menorah. You see the menorah in the back right there, Israel. It took it away, man. And the table of the showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the veils, and the censers of gold, and the veils, and the crowns, and the gold ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver, and the gold, and the precious vessels, and he took the hidden treasure which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. So after he robbed us, he killed us. Great massacre. You don't hear about this history because why? You're going to hear the truth. That so-called white man is a murderer that you guys love to death, man. Y'all want to be just like this man. But I'm the bad guy for telling you the truth. No, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of because he lied. He deceived everybody. He trick you and make you think that, oh, no, I'm the good guy, and make us look like we the bad guys. We ain't bad. We just telling our people the truth, man. And our people don't like the truth. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took her lamentations, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness because her husband was killed. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. We like, what the hell happened? Verse 29. After 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector a tribute unto the city of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now he coming to collect 2 years later, after killing everybody and doing all. What happens now? And spake peaceable. What he did, spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. What the Bible say? They all was deceit. Never believe the white man. You cannot trust him. Nah, brother. You could trust him. No, you can't. Let's get the precept. This is the book of Proverbs 25 and 26. Book of Proverbs 25. That's what a lot of people do. They trust him, man. 25 and 26. It says, do I want 26, 25? Salaki, I want, Salaki, I want 26. I'm going to start at 25, 26, 25. It's Proverbs 26, 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. When he speaketh fair, hey, buddy, how are you doing? It's a wonderful day, isn't it? You have a good one. They want to kill you. Don't trust him, man. It's something not right about him. Habakkuk tell you, he is not, his spirit is not right, man. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. 7 abominations in his heart. He's going to keep thinking about how to overthrow you. Hey, how's it going today? That's it. No, not my neighbors. My neighbors love me. I don't trust none of them. Be as it may, I am friendly. Don't mistake my friendliness as friendship, first and foremost. No, Yahweh said it. Me and peace with many, man. And that's what we are. We ain't out here saying, yeah, you're damn. Nah. Hey, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. But hey, I know who my enemy is. They see how I move out here. They know I'm different. Not like you regular jakes out here, man. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not. For there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. Guess what we're going to see is wickedness. That's why we don't trust the so-called white man. We'll never trust him. It is what it is. We'll just never trust him. Back to First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 30. And he spake peaceful words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon them, the city, and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. You don't believe him. Hey, buddy. How you doing, partner? I don't believe none of y'all, man. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. So he stole your women and children. Imagine that, Israel. Man, just think about it, man. It's always been going on like this. Imagine taking your children, putting them in captivity, raping your woman, and raping your children as well. But we don't want to talk about that, right? But this is our history. This is going to the Feast of Dedication. It's bigger than what you think, Israel. That's why we celebrate this day. That's why we keep this day with remembrance. It says, verse 33, then built they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with many towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there. And so they became a sore snare, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. And our people left Israel, man. That's what Africa do mother than, brother. No, hey, Jerusalem is. So you don't know that because they made you leave, because they pushed that. You see what I'm saying? You don't know because you don't know. It says, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. They've been doing this since day one nation under God. And that's what our people follow after. They follow after the white man and his whole religion. They've been doing this since the time of Genesis with Nimrod. You can't make this stuff up. And everyone should leave his laws. I'm telling you, this is how you know this is madness, man. I told you. You see these other nations following after the so-called white man. I was in the mall. I saw not an Edomite family, but a damn Moabite family, Chinese man. This is how you know they drinking from Babylon the Great. Chinese man signing a sheet with his wife for his Chinese daughter to sit on Santa Claus' lap. Why is the Chinese man keeping Christmas? I'm in the mall and the damn East Indian man talking about happy holidays. No, the hell with them holidays, man. The hell are you celebrating Christmas for, East Indian man? That's how you know this world we living in, man. It's Babylon the Great, man. And everybody is subject to the white man. You can't make this stuff. You can't make this stuff up. And it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed idols and profaned the Sabbath. What you Negroes do now? You can't make this stuff up. You do this now. That's how you know this is a real book. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judea, Slakia of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and the festival days. And that's what our people do now. They have forgot about our laws, man. They send letters like, hey, don't you do that. Don't you do it. We are not in that time. But a lot of Israelites when that time comes, they're gonna rip their fringes off, they're gonna shave their beards, and they're gonna follow after the so-called white man. And pollute the sanctuaries and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels and idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. And that's what they did. Sacrifice swine's flesh. I told you can't make this up. Every damn commercial, they got bacon on it. And guess who they got in there? You. They got you in it. You. We're going to get to why they got you in a minute. It says, verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. They want you to forget your law. What you guys have forgotten. Not you that's watching, but you know who you are. And whoso would not do according to the commandments of the king, he said he should die. And we just read this in 2 Maccabees 6 and 9. If you didn't do what the king said, guess what? You'll be put to death. A lot of people be like, hey, somebody came, you say, hey, take off your fringes. Hey, I'm going to take them off. You got to kill me. That's how that works, man. Not taking them. Brother, over a shirt? Hey, it's the principle. They get you to take off your fringes. They're going to get you to eat a damn pig. Oh, uncooked. That's what's going to happen, Israel. Starts little by little. Hey, shave your beard, brother. I ain't shaving nothing, man. This time is coming back, Israel. We're not making this stuff up. We read that. It says, and whoso would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Some people are going to be afraid. I read the stuff to my children. And I'll praise to y'all by Shem Yahshua. My children have a different spirit, man. Lord willing, he keep that mighty spirit upon them. I asked some questions. I said, hey, what if you seen people had a damn meeting your mother in guillotines, about to get our head chopped off? And they said, we'll save your mama and daddy. Which we know they lying. They won't do it. They'll still cut our heads off just for you to eat the pork. Well, I said, what would you guys do? They say, eat this pork, or we're going to cut your mama and daddy head off. You know, my kids say, hey, cut their head off. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua, man. Because they ain't breaking these commandments, man. That would make a tear drop out of my eye. If my children said, no, go ahead, pull the lever. Because guess what? They're going to be my parents again in the regeneration. Hey, that thing right there would make a tear fall out of my damn eye. That my kids stood strong, man. To the end. They didn't care. They said, hey, we're going to read about it. All praise to the Most High. That thing would make me feel like, damn, I raised my kids right, man. That make me feel so proud to be a parent. Or what if it's the other way around? They say, hey, Josh, here, eat this. Or we're going to cut your child's head off. And they say, hey, go ahead, chop my head off. Boy, hey, that thing right there, boy, that thing right there, because they'll bring me back in the regeneration. Boy, hey, talking about being a proud parent. No, I'm proud that my daughter know how to twerk. No, I'm proud that my boy know how to sell crack cocaine. No, I'm proud that my kids are willing to stand and die for the Lord, man. That's what I'm proud of, man. That's what I'm proud of. That's a proud parent, man. To hell with this world, man, and the things that people find cool in this world. Keep reading, Israel. But you know me, I like to go. Hey, read that again. And whoso would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. In the same self manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. And you see that now. A lot of people are going to do that too. Then it's going to happen again. A lot of people are going to consent to it, and they're going to do sacrifices according to what the king said, and they're going to forsake the law, and evils are going to be multiplied. Can't make the stuff up, Israel. It says, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu in the 144th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built altars throughout the city of Judah and on every side. Now, hey, that's what the abomination of desolation. Hey, it's right here. Can't make this stuff up, man. It says, and burned incense at the door of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in peace the book of the law, which they found, they burned it with fire. So guess what? They took your Bible and burned it. First, they ripped it in pieces. Give me Genesis, give me Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Start ripping the whole Bible up and then set it on fire. My kids make me laugh all the time because whenever I go somewhere and I see a Bible, I buy it. Depends on what kind of Bible. Got to be KJV. You understand what I'm saying? But I buy a lot of Bibles, man. And my kids, when we read certain precepts, they say, Dad, that's why you buy a lot of Bibles? I say, yep. I got them hidden in different places. Jake got little gun compartments. No, I got Bible compartments and gun compartments, just for you to know. But hey, my Bible is right here. And I keep that thing on me all the time, Israel. I always make a joke, like when I'm going somewhere and somebody try to steal my car, I'm like, hey, you can have the car, but let me get my Bible back. I'm not even making that stuff up. I'm so serious, man. This Bible right here, it's my first Bible I had since I've been in the shoot, and I have everything in there. From my studying and everything, I have all my, not saying that stuff, I just say, hey, give me my Bible. I need my Bible. And that's how I feel. And when I read stuff like this, I think, man, I'm like, man, what you mean they burn and rip the Bible? You gotta find mine. I'll keep a couple of them hidden somewhere. So keep reading. It says, verse 56 again, and when they had written in pieces the book of the law, which they found, they burned them with fire. And whatsoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king commandment was that they should be put to death. And if you had a Bible on you, they come in your house. Hey, you see that right now with the so-called police officer. They come through and check you. Let me do a cavity search, man. What? Yeah, they come. No. Hey, we come to check houses. Hey, hey, I ain't been funny. You know, people that stay on what that thing called Section 8 and have inspections to come to their house. And hey, come to your house, knock on the door. Hey, we gotta do an inspection, make sure you ain't got no Bibles in. Checking everything, flipping things over. What is this book? It's oh, okay. I thought it was the Bible. It's a Quran. Yeah, you know that's what you know. You know what I mean? They don't want you to have the Bible. If you had the Bible, they'll kill you. A lot of people throw their Bibles away, man. Madness. You have to kill me. That's how that works. Over the Bible, bruh. It's the principle, Israel. A lot of people don't have that mindset. It says, thus did they, look at this part, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the altars, which was upon the altar of God. So now it took our altar and started sacrificing unclean things in there. Start freaking off in there, having, man, all type of wild, freaky stuff that Esau do, man. We know who he is. Look what they did. Look what else happened. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Then they started killing the Eves out there because their Eves was keeping it along. They get their child circumcised, and then guess what happened? They come in there and check the baby diaper. Only a freak would do something like that, Israel. Let me check the baby's pamper. What? Get your little freaky stuff out of here, Esau. But that's what they was doing. They saw them circumcised to kill the woman and the baby. But this is the thing. This is what you celebrate. This is what y'all celebrate, the customs of these people. You want to pledge whatever it's called, Cape, Kappa, Alpha, Data, whatever. Y'all want to pledge all that stupid stuff, man. But these are the same people that did this to you. They ain't do that to me. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Verse 61. And they hanged their infants about their neck and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved. Now, this is the part right here. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. So they said, hey, I don't care what you say. You come month to month, day by day to offer idols to eat. We ain't eating it. Wherefore they chose rather to die that they might not be defiled with meats and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. You don't see that no more. Nobody has integrity like that no more. Our people willfully go in a goddamn on store and buy pork loins, pork roast. You got so-called Israelites to do it too. Integrity then. They say, I'd rather die than eat unclean food, man. How many people like that you know? Yeah, that's the question, man. How many people you know like that? Right now, some of y'all Negroes and females out here, you love your crab legs, you love your lobster, you love your shrimp, you love your oysters, you love your what are those things called? Mussels. You love all that silly stuff, man. But you don't love the Lord. But these are the same people that love the Lord, man. I'm going to read that again. Verse 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die that they might not be defiled with meats and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was a very great wrath upon Israel. That's his first Maccabees chapter 1. This is chapter 1. You see this? This is what happened in chapter 1. What you think chapter 2 going to be about? Let's get into it. I'm going to read chapter 2, but I ain't going to read all the 3, and I'm going to get to the point of 4. I want you to read on your own, Israel. I like chapter 2 and 1. And 2 and 1, bad chapters, boy. Especially the mighty acts of our forefathers, man. But we're going to read chapter 2. I like chapter 2. You got to hear chapter 2. Then I'm going to do a little piece in chapter 3. Then I'm going to jump to chapter 4 and give you an understanding of why we keep these days. This is chapter 2. First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simon, a priest of the sons of Jorab from Jerusalem, and dwelled in Modin. So now there's a man named Mattathias. Now this right here, this is my chapter right here. I love this chapter, man. Mattathias was a mighty man. And we're going to find out how mighty he was. And he had 5 sons. Joanna, called Cadius, Simon, called Thassus, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Aron, and Jonathan, whose surname was Pauses. So he had 5 sons. That's mighty, man. And when he saw the blasphemy that was committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory." He said, "Woe is me, woe is me. Destruction unto me." That's what he's saying, destruction to himself, man. Because he see that his people, he was vexed, man. Let's get some precepts. Ecclesiastes. Yeah, Israel, we dealing with this one today, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, "Surely oppression make a wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart." So he was angry, man. He was vexed. He was vexed when he saw that. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, if I get there, come on, page. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Are you crying? Are you sighing for the abominations you see by people? How does it make you? How you feel when you see a whole bunch of single moms raising these kids? Does that make you sad? Does that make you sad? See out here brothers shooting each other, murdering each other. How that make you? Does it make you feel sad? See how people in a lost state of mind, confused, not knowing they want to be a boy or girl. People with so-called mental health don't want to see tomorrow because so much demons are playing. Does that make you cry? Does that make you sad? Do you really feel sad for your people? And that was Mattathias. That was Mattathias. That was the love he had for his people, man. Verse 9 in 1 Maccabees 2 and 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the swords of the enemy. So the infants are killed in the streets, man. I just had a new baby. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I can't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they did. But you love these people, though, right? You love these people. These are your favorite people in the world. You want to be just like them. You want to walk like them. You want to talk like them. You want to act like them. But they was killing your infants in the streets, man. You see what I'm saying? I had a conversation with my dad before. He had me laughing one time. He said we was reading the book of Exodus and we was going into how they used to feed us, to alligators. Kill the children of Israel. You seen the Prince of Egypt feed them to the alligators. Let's talk about that. And he said, you got to be a cruel person to do that. He said, son, I can't even feed a cat to an alligator. I said, just not in our spirit to move like that. But like we said again, his soul is not upright. Killing infants in the street. You see what I'm saying? Madness, Israel. You can't get your mindset, but you love these people so much. Man. These are people you want to be just like. You forgave them, but the same people that you can't forgive your people, though. Nah, they don't get the kingdom. They get destroyed, man. I'm going to read that again so you can see it again. Her glorious vessels, verse 9, are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the street. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten her spoils? That's what he asking. Who hasn't stolen from Israel? Everybody. That's what everybody going to have to pay. That's right. It says, all her ornaments are taken away of a free woman. She is become a bond slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste. And the Gentiles have profaned it. Well, who have profaned it? The Gentiles. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? He said, hey, we don't need to be here no more. Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore. How many times do you mourn and rent your clothes and put on sackcloth for the destruction of your people, man? How often do you do that, man? How often do you say, I'm going to get together with my brothers and we're going to mourn together because of destruction of our people? You don't give a damn. That's the problem. You're not selfless. You're selfish. You don't care about nobody but yourself. So you don't mourn for your people. When you see stuff like this, you don't take the time out when somebody calls you and asks you the reason of your hope to break bread with them because you see they are not on that same level as you. How often do you do that? How often do you give yourself for other people, man? And they just using, hey. Well, my mindset is this. If they came and called me to ask me a question about my reason, my hope that I have in the Lord, hey, I'm going to do it. I don't care if you're wasting your time. Hey, if I'm wasting my time, I'm not. The Lord has called me to do that. And the Lord see what I'm doing. If they're going to continue to do what they do, the Lord see that I did my part, though. How often are you doing that for your people? How often do you feel bad for your people? Man, I feel bad for my people, man. Because they don't have no hope or trust in the Lord. They trust in man and not the Lord. And that's why they have problems after problems after problems after problems. Because you forgot where your trust comes from. Your strength comes from the Lord. Keep reading Israel. I'm sorry about that. You know, Jake like to go off sometimes. Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes, verse 14 again, and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. In the meanwhile, the king officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice. Now they send his officer to get the people of Modin to sacrifice. Because you know they've been doing that. So they said, hey, let's go ahead. I'm going to get these people to sacrifice. Let's see what happens. And when many of let's look at this. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. So they said, what's going on? Let's see what's going on. Then answered the king officer and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. So he said, hey, Mattathias, I heard about you. Mattathias. You're one of those guys that everybody respects. Everybody loves Mattathias. You strengthened with sons. You got brothers. Hey, look what he says. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shall thy and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. So he said, Mattathias, come. You come first, brother. Because guess what? Once I get you, everybody will fall in line. That's what they do, man. Like I tell you, man, they try to they get once they can get the priest, they get anybody. They get anybody. Because guess what? The priest is what people follow. That's why you got people like T.D. Snakes, and look at him now. You see what's going on. Now people like, what's going on? Hey, it is what it is. You can't tell. They all been caught up with the situation. They all receive these rewards and gifts, and that's what thing that pushes our people. That's what the Bible tell you. Gifts blind the heart, man. Sirach 20 and verse 29. Let me get that one first. Let me get that and I go somewhere else. This is Sirach chapter 20. Let's get Sirach 20 and verse 29. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. So, hey, we don't take gifts, man. We ain't taking your gifts. Mattathias, he had a good name. Why would he want to do what they said? This is the book of Proverbs 22 and 1. A good name is rather to be chose than great riches, and love and favor rather than silver and gold. So he had a good name out here, man. And he did not want to defile his name. Let's keep going. I'm read 18 again. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment. And like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends. And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. He said, I'm going to give you everything. You're going to be the king's friend. You're going to get silver and gold. Come on. Look what Mattathias said. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice. A loud voice. No, a timid voice. Hey, man, I understand. No. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away everyone from from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brother walk. Look at, I'm gonna read that again. He said everybody can do what everybody else doing, but what he says, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinance. He said, hey, we ain't doing it. We are not forsaking the laws and the ordinance, man. How many of y'all are going to stand up for God, man? Who's going to rock? Give me that. This Psalms 94. Who are y'all going to do that, man? How many of y'all can do that? You got your family trying to persuade you to keep Christmas. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to say, hey, nah, to hell with that. We ain't doing it. We're going to keep God's commandments. Psalms 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Who? Who? Are you going to do it? That's the spirit of our forefathers, man. Do you have that same spirit in you? That's why you got to read these books, man. These books are amazing. It says, we will not hearken to this is verse 22 of 1 Maccabees chapter 2. We will not hearken to the king's words. To go from our religion is keeping the commandments. So our religion is keeping these commandments. Either on the right hand or the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all the Look at this. One of the Jews came to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modern, according to the king's commandment. So after Mattathias gave that speech and was loud, here comes a nigga. You can't make this stuff up. A nigga. Come up there like, I don't care what this nigga say. I'm about to come sacrifice. So what you think Mattathias did? Let me show you what it is, man. Now, when he left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modern, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw it, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. He killed him. I thought thou should not. Hey, no, he killed that wicked Negro, man. He killed him, man. Hey, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Because you have to destroy evil, man. You have to put away evil from Israel, man. You have to put away evil. Also, the king's commissioner, it says, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealous for the law of God, like Phinehas did unto Zimbra, the son of Solomon. So I'm going to show you what Phinehas did. He did the same thing that Phinehas did in the book of Numbers, chapter 25. So this is going into, let's get Numbers 25 right quick. I'm going to show you, man. Levi have a different spirit on them, man. They are willing to hey, we got to do what we got to do, man. They have that zeal of the Lord upon them, man. This is Numbers 25 and verse 1. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. So our people love sleeping with these other nations. That's what our people do. It says, Slakia, and they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods. And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one of his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So you got this nigga. It's always you can't make this stuff up. It's always a nigga. You bring another strange woman in. After we going through a plague already, you bring another woman in. And what happens? And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, a Levite, which is Mattathias, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And when he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly, so the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. So guess what? He had the same spirit Phinehas had, man. It's only necessary because he's a Levite. A Levite had them type of spirits on him, man. Let's keep reading. Verse 27, 1 Maccabees 2:27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. And guess what? It was rich too, man. Remember, the Levites get 10%. They left everything. Could you leave everything behind? See? See what I'm saying, man? When you read these accounts, you have to have that same spirit on you. You never know what's going to happen. I got to go back home and grab, my photo album because, my uncle and grandpa and granny and mom and daddy and cousin, sister, brother, I got to remember. To hell with all that, man. Leave. I'm going to keep reading because I told you I'm going to read the chapter. It's fine. It says, so he, verse 28, so he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had into the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because of affliction increased sore upon them. So a lot of people left. And it says, now when it was told the king's servant and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were going down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, having overtaken them. They camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. Now, how did they know this in the secret places? Because it's always a nigga that's hell. You can't make this stuff up, Israel. It's always your own people. It's your own people, man. We're going to see that again. It says, verse 33, and they said unto them, let that which ye have done hereto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. He said, hey, let bygones be bygones. We found you. Come on back and break God's commandments and serve the king. That's what Esau said. And let's see what happens. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So they knew what they was doing. They came on the Sabbath day. And they knew that we ain't doing nothing on Sabbath but resting. It says, so then they gave them the battle. Look at this, man. This stuff right here make you upset a little bit. A lot. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the place where they laid hid, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and cattle to the number of 1,000 people. They killed 1,000 women and children and cattle, man. You can't make this stuff up. These same people you love, right? This is why we celebrate the Feast of Dedication. Now, when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in their secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty of mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntary, devoted unto the law. Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were stayed unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor. So you see, you had wicked men that was with them. That snitch. But they ran to the heathen for succor, for safety. Then Mattathias, his friends, went round about and pulled down the altars. And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, they circumcised violently. So guess what? They went around pulling down altars like you ain't sacrificing nothing over here. And they circumcised the kids that was uncircumcised. Righteous, mighty men. They Salakia, verse 47. They pursued also after the proud man, and the work prospered in their hands. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of kings. Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. So they took the books back. They got our Bible back. All praise to y'all. And guess what? We got our Bible back because we know who we are now. And they can't hide it from us no more. Now this is 49. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke, gotten strength, and the time of destruction, the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Give your life for this thing, man. How often do you tell your children to give your life for this truth? No matter what people say, you're going to stand 10 toes down for this truth. You tell your kids that. It says, verse 51, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandments and was made Lord of Egypt. Phinehas, our father, being zealous and fervent, attained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of a land. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azariah, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. So if you put your trust in the Lord, you have the call to act of our forefathers. Those that put their trust in the Lord will never be confounded. The Lord delivered them. It says, fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into the dust, and his thoughts is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye, my sons, be valiant, show yourself men in behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you. So the brother Simon was the one that basically strategically planned out all the attacks. And for Judas Maccabeus, he had been mighty and strong even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. So Judas, he took his father's seat and fought the battles. He was the captain. He was the leader. But they stood together as brothers like they're supposed to. It says, take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people. So you got to avenge the wrong of your people. Do you believe in avenging the wrong of your people? Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law. You recompense the heathen. You give them what they get. Hey, you're going to destroy them. That's what the father told his sons. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers. And he died in 146 year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchre of his fathers at Modin. And all Israel made great lamentations for him because he was a mighty man. You see how beautiful this chapter is, man? So now you have Judas and his brethren that's about to do what? Take over and start destroying these heathen and rededicate the temple, man. They following after the footsteps of their father, man. So we read chapter 1 and chapter 2. I'm just going to read a part in verse 3, and I'm going to jump to verse 4, and I want you guys to read on your own. Go back and read this. It's the Feast of Dedication, man. It started Thursday, sundown. 8 days, Israel. of feasting. All praise to Yahweh Shem Shah. We rehearse these righteous acts and we remember these things. Keep the feast, Israel. This is chapter 3, verse 1. It says, then his sons Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead. And all his brethren, what? All his brethren helped him. His brothers helped him. And so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So he had his brothers with him. He had his people that was with his father. And they all respect that because they knew he had that zeal of his father. They was like, nah, well, I'm the oldest. I should be the leader. It wasn't none of that. Well, I was fighting with your daddy. No, they saw the spirit, man. Some beautiful stuff, Israel. It says, so he gat his people honor, great honor, and put on a breastplate as a giant and girded his warlike harness about him. And he made battle, protecting the host with his sword. And his act, he was like a lion, and like a lion wept, roaring for his prey. For he pursued the wicked and sought them out and burned up those that vex his people. So he set on fire people too, man. So Judas was out here on fire, literally setting people on fire. That's beautiful, man. You ain't gonna hear about this in your so-called school system. You ain't gonna hear about this, but you need to hear about this. This is the mighty acts of our forefathers. I'm gonna keep reading. It says, verse 6, wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled because salvation prospered in his hands. He grieved also many kings and made Jacob glad with his acts, and his memorial is blessed forever. Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly out of them and turning away the wrath from Israel, so that he was renowned unto the utmost parts of the earth, and he received unto him such as were ready to perish. So this man was mighty, man. Judas kept the battle and fought for his people. Now, like I said, I'm not going to read all of it. I want to read 1 and 2. You got to read 3 and 4 on your own. But I'm going to jump to chapter 4 and give you the point. This is chapter 4, and I'm going to start at man. I'm going to start at verse. Let's get to the point. 36. This is First Maccabees 4 and 36. You read the rest on your own, Israel. It says, then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfort. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into the Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profane and the gates burned up and shrubs growing in the courts as a forest or in one of the mountains, yea, the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes and made great lamentations and cast ashes upon their head and fell down flat to the ground upon their face and blew an alarm with a trumpet and cried towards heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law. So this is what they're doing, man. We about to rededicate the temple. This is because you remember what the heathen was doing in the temple, freaking off, offering swine's flesh, doing all type of abominable acts in there. But look what we're about to do. It says, who cleansed, this is 43, who cleansed the sanctuary and buried out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it, wherefore they pulled it down. That's like if you got a whole damn pig in your refrigerator bleeding. Throw the whole damn refrigerator away. We get a new one. That's the mindset, because now it's going to be a reproach towards us. It says, verse 46, and laid up the stones in the mountains of the temple in a convenient place until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick, the menorah, and the altar of burnt offerings of incense, and the table. And upon the altar they burnt incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick, that it says they, Salakia, read that again. And upon the altar they burnt incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lit, that they might give light into the temple. It says, furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which Salakia, which is called the month of Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning, and offered sacrifices according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even and it was dedicated with songs and sistrums and harps and cymbals. So now you about to get happy and turn up for the feast of dedication, because you remember that this heathen came and did what they want to do. But look, we dedicate that temple back. Then all the people fell upon their face and worship and praising the God of heaven, who have given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days. Now, why did you see that? See the manure in the back? It's 7 candlesticks. You got the so-called white man using 9 candlesticks because he's a damn weirdo, man. It's not for him. And 9 is not a damn complete number. It's an incomplete number. It's not a good number. 7 is completion, man. 9 is not. You read that in Sirach. It says in the 8 days. Why they kept it 8 days, man? Just like the Feast of Tabernacle, which I'm gonna show you in the 2nd Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 1. I'm gonna show you that. No, people say they kept it. I'm gonna tell you what the white man say. The white man says they kept the Feast of Dedication. Show me this in the Bible. I've been looking for it and I haven't found it. They kept it 8 days because they ran out of oil, and they lit the oil for the miracle of the oil. They lit it, and the oil stayed on 1 day, they stayed on 2 days, they stayed on 3 days, they stayed on 4. That's BS. It's not in the Bible. You know, they spit the Drano, and they ate potato pancakes. Show me that in the Bible. I don't know where they get all this nonsense from. It's not in the Bible. I remember when I first came to the truth, funniest thing, because I came to the truth in November of 19. My cousin, she said, what you Jewish now? I said, no, I'm a Jew. She said, what, you eat potato pancakes and spin the Drano? I said, what is that? I haven't read that at all. I said, that's the so-called wicked white man, what they do. And it's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. Eating potato pancakes and spinning the Drano with the 9 menorah. Madness. It says, and so they kept, verse 56 again, so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrifice, the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hung doors upon them. So, hey, if you want to decorate your house for Hanukkah, do that. That's what we do. Got our little shields in the front, got happy Feast of Dedication, got a big banner. We do it, man. We did it for Christmas. Do it for the Lord, man. Got our menorahs burning. Got a bunch of menorahs. Give light into every room, man. It says, thus, verse 58, thus were they very glad, great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days from the 25th day of the month Caslu with mirth and gladness. Let's go to 2nd Maccabees 2 and 10. I mean, yeah, as a 10 and 1. Slacking. 2nd Maccabees 10 and 1. 2nd Maccabees 10 and 1. Now Maccabeus and his company, the Lord guided them, recovered the temple and the city. But the altar which the heathen had built in the open streets, and also the chapels they pulled down. And having cleansed the temple, they made another altar, and stricken stones. They took fire out of them and offered a sacrifice after 2 years, and set forth incense and lights and showbread. When that was done, they fell flat down and besought the Lord that they might come no more into such trouble. But if they sin any more against him, that he himself would chasten them with mercy. See that, Lord, if we sin against God, that's what happens. He deals with us like that. And that they might not be delivered unto the blasphemous and barbarous nation. That's what they are. Those nations are barbarous and blasphemous. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day it was cleansed again, even the 25th day of the same month, which is Caslu. And they kept 8 days with gladness, as in the Feast of Tabernacles. So that's why you keep it, just like you keep the Feast of Tabernacles. The first day is a Sabbath, and the last day is a Sabbath, which means no buying or selling or working. But you can't cook, Israel. You can't cook because it's a feast. And it says, and they kept it 8 days with gladness, as in the Feast of Tabernacles, remembering that not long before they had held the Feast of Tabernacles, when as they wandered in the wilderness in the dens like beasts. Therefore they bared branches and fair boughs and palms, also and sang songs unto him that had given them good success in cleansing his place. They ordained also by a command, look at this, they ordained also by a common statute and decree that every year those days should be kept of the whole nation of the Jews. No, of Esau, of the Jews. We must keep the feast. This is the book of Nahum. This is the book, Israel, of Nahum. The Jews must keep the feast. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 15. Behold, upon the mountains, the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publish peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feast. Perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. So Israel, rehearse these righteous acts. Go into these chapters. Read 1st Maccabees. Read 2nd Maccabees. Get the understanding of why we keep the Feast of Dedication and bring to remembrance the righteous acts of our forefathers, so we can have the same spirit and the same zeal they had in those days, in these last days. So Israel, I'm so glad that you could join your brother today with another beautiful topic. I pray that you learn something new, and what you learn, you apply to your everyday life. Pray that you stand strong. Keep the faith and the commandments to the best of your ability. Try your best, Israel, to offend less. Until next time, Shalom.
And it happened. Alexander the Greek took the earth like a captain. Killed the king of Persia, caught him slipping like he napping. The whole earth quiet before this man, he had power. Winning all them wars, lift his heart up like a tower. Then he got sick, called his men, split the kingdom. Crimes upon their head, but they multiplied evil. Wicked Israelites made a covenant with heathens. They doing the same thing right now, I can't believe them. Gentiles had them scared, Antiochus took Egypt. Next stop Jerusalem, he about to test the people. They took the showbread, golden altar, and menorah. All of this keep happening cause we keep breaking Torah. Antiochus went back to his lane, went to celebrate. 2 years later he put fire to them heaven gates. Burned Jerusalem down, took out women and he made them slaves. Letter from the king, everybody want people. So if you follow laws that ain't the king's, you better leave them. But if we leave our laws, then our God gon' leave us. Many Israelites went to Father when they heeded, sacrificing swine on the altar, stopping us from doing the burnt and the drink offering, profaning the Sabbath, knowing that it's gonna cost us. If we don't do these laws, it gon' cost us. But the spirit of Maccabees, if you wanna keep these laws and commandments, follow me. The spirit of Maccabees. If you wanna keep the laws and commandments, follow me. Yeah, hey, ain't no time for compromise. Need to show thyself a man. The heathens doing the same tricks, they bout to do it all again. We going to war on Shabbat, tell the heathens we ain't playing. If you serious about them laws, out together we can stand. Don't be scared of the multitude, he gon' intervene. It ain't about the numbers, about power from Shemaim. Allah, Allah, Bahadam, Allah with the Malakim. Power in the blood, power with the mighty king. Back to the story, they won war after war. Got the land back, but the land was so torn. Ash upon their heads and they even ripped their gum. Got the land back, but the land was so torn. So they dedicated sanctuary, built new altars. It might not be perfect, but we still keeping our culture. Go get that menorah, put them lights up in that temple. About to give them praise for everything we done been through. The feast of dedication.